Good afternoon. I'm Casey Marler. He's Chief Meteorologist Mark Reynolds. It's been a busy day all day long. The region all but shut down by this winter weather that's been coming through all day. The good news is Mark and his team said it would be this way. And we'll start here with the update right now. We've seen the snow.
We have.
And we're kind of right on the line. It doesn't feel like winter, but it sure does look like it.
It does. And what's interesting, we talked about this on Friday of last week. We talked about how we could see some warm air intrusion. We're seeing that over the mountains. I've circled that area, and in that region, that's why you may not see as much snow. We've had some rain mixing with sleet and freezing rain, and that's going to continue for some across East Tennessee until about 10 o'clock, and that may go all the way up into Sullivan County. So just a heads up on that. So if you see the snow coming to an end and it starts to rain and sleet, that's the reason why. But we will see more snow coming at us as we go through the overnight. Look at Boone. You can see a good reason there. They've seen the warmer air as well. It's amazing. Temperatures warming on the mountain ridge tops into parts of western North Carolina, and that warming came into East Tennessee, and that's what created the rain and sleet mixture for some of us. So there's a look at Boone. Take you to a different shot, though, as we take you to areas around Jonesboro. You've seen some of the snow coming down, some of the grass covered. But again, temperature's still a bit warm. That's why it's not really sticking to the roadway. But we will see changes, trust me. Look right now, we do have the winter storm warnings in effect for much of the area. As we are anticipating that mix through about 10 o'clock, then everybody will transition to some snow. We've still got a lot of snow back to our west. I've added the red line on. That's the freezing line. You see it's right over East Tennessee, western North Carolina. North of that, though, and west of us, you're seeing some of the darker blue on the radar. And that's got to make its way into our region through the evening tonight. So don't let your guard down. The snow chances will pick up. But you're also seeing some of the pink there back towards Rogersville into parts of Greene County. And that's where that mix is taking place. That will spread a little northeast into Sullivan County, Washington County through the evening. So you may see the mix. But across southwest Virginia, eastern Kentucky, you're seeing some of the dark blue. Also back through Hawkins and Hancock, Sullivan County, seeing some of the dark blue. That's where the snow's still coming down at a very good clip, and especially over Kentucky and southwest Virginia. So when you look at our satellite, we still have a lot of moisture to go, a lot of cloud cover. Here's my forecast, so I want to point out in the yellow, the pink, that's where the mix is, and this will last for most of us, East Tennessee, right up to about 10 o'clock. You notice how that goes into Bristol, possibly Washington and Smith County. May see that warm air intrusion all the way down through Greene County. That's why you'll see a mix. That's why the snow totals won't start really accumulating until later tonight after midnight. See the blue, the dark blue, Lebanon stretching all the way down to Morristown. That will expand. Look at that very heavy snowfall potential after midnight through about 4 o'clock over much of the Tri-City area as well. And that's why I do believe we'll see additional snowfall across the region. We'll clear it out tomorrow and much colder air coming down the pike. So when you look at this, this is additional snowfall. You look out the window now, this is what additional snowfall will look like. 3 to as much as 6 inches in spots in the pink. That includes the Tri-Cities. 1 to 3 to our south, and 2 to 4 Kentucky into the extreme western area of southwest Virginia. Let me stress the fact, though, not everybody will see that 6-inch, but it's a possibility with some of these bright bands of snow that come through after midnight, and that will accumulate on everything because our temperature dips down to 18 degrees tonight. Snow continues. We'll see snow taper down tomorrow. Look at this high, 21. Whatever snow is on the ground tomorrow night, we see clear skies. We see radiational cooling near 0 for the Tri-Cities. And look at this 7-day forecast, 26 Wednesday. Snow late Thursday, some accumulating snow possible Friday, more cold air. Look at the Arctic air, 20 for a high Saturday. In Casey, we're down to 0 again Sunday morning, warming up though by Monday.
Mark, thank you, but at least we're not negative, right? Mother Nature throwing us a couple goose eggs here this week in single digits. You know, you've seen the snow. It's been a pretty snow, right? We haven't had to go anywhere on this Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, most of us anyways, but take a look what we found. Our crews on their way into work. This was some of what they were up against. This is Reedy Creek Road in Bristol, Tennessee. About an hour ago, you can see many secondary roads in the region very treacherous. Certainly as you increase in elevation, you're going to run into even more issues with snow on the roads. You get into that area where the sun never hits, and you know on your commute where these difficult areas are. Keep it slow, keep it safe, and if you do have to go out, certainly be cautious throughout the next 24 hours or so. We have the easy job here inside the studio. Our team coverage, tracking the latest weather conditions as it continues to snow in and around the region. News Channel 11's Clarice Shaley doing some heavy lifting for us. She's outside in the elements in gray at Daniel Boone High School. Clarice, what do you have for us here? What's it like out there right now?
Yeah, Casey, so I've been traveling on some of those higher volume travel roads like I-26. They're looking pretty clear. Suncrest Drive in gray is right to my left here. It's also looking pretty clear. Only has like a slight layer of water on it. So considering the circumstances, looking clear, but then you get to those side roads. Those are a different story. Hillendale Road is right behind me. It's got a little more slush on it, which would be assumed because not as highly traveled road, but obviously keeping these in mind, the road conditions look okay now, but like Casey said and like Mark has said, if you're leaving the house today, if you're traveling at all, stay cautious, be a cautious driver and err on the side of that caution. Drive slowly, try to keep some distance between you and the other car ahead of you so that there are no problems on that. So in gray, Clarice Shaley, News Channel 11.
Clarice, some great tips there, and I even ran into a little slush, which can give you just a little bit of a loss of traction no matter where you're at on the roads. Clarice Shaley live out for us at Daniel Boone High School in gray. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at TDOT, our local, our statewide road crews who have been proactive all weekend long. Safest thing to do in the weather, according to our friends at TDOT, stay home if you can. We checked with officials this afternoon to see how they're handling the road conditions and preparing for tonight's freeze. This is a look at one of TDOT's 31 salt bins in the Eastern District. A spokesperson told us they started treating roads with brine yesterday ahead of the snow today, and they are still treating the roads today, getting ready for that anticipated overnight freeze.
Our crews have been on the job all day. They'll stay on the job as long as necessary. But when those temperatures get below freezing, especially when they get below 20 degrees, it really limits the effectiveness of a lot of our supplies. So we're kind of waiting for that thaw to happen.
Mark Nagy and his team doing a fantastic job keeping us informed. You can check road conditions in real time. Smartway.tn.gov. What a resource. Smartway.tn.gov. Our News Channel 11 team out on the roads. We just heard from Clarice in the gray area. Let's check in now with Storm Team meteorologist Laurel Blanchard, who is also out and about giving us the very latest in road conditions in our region. Laurel, what do you have for us?
Hey Casey, right now we are just off the road on South 353 in Washington County, headed towards Jonesboro at the moment, so this is what we're going to continue to see. My concern with these roads right now, especially across Washington County, Greene County, and Unicoi County, these roads very wet, but now that we're starting to see a little bit more of that heavier snowfall, as you can see on the roads right there, some of it is starting to stick. So my concern, especially as these roads that are on the wet side instead of more of the snowy slushy side, as that cooler air really starts to move into the region, that water is going to freeze. So when at the surface of the road, it's going to be icy, and then as we head through the overnight tonight, that's when we're going to start to see that snowfall accumulation on top of that ice, which could make those roads very dangerous as we head through the overnight tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. But again, we're headed towards Jonesboro right now, just off of South 353. We're going to continue to see this snowfall happening back towards Greene County, where we were on Tennessee 107 West, headed towards Tusculum. That's when we were starting to see a little bit more of that wintry mix, and that rain-snow mix is what we were seeing a little bit more heavily headed towards Tusculum and Greene County. But for now, we are still starting to see more of this snowfall and this more moderate snowfall as we take a look right here once again, just on parts of, or just off of South 353 right here. So we're going to continue to monitor the roads once again. More concerned, especially with the areas that did get more of that rain and seeing more of those wet, slick roads as those temperatures and those much cooler temperatures continue to move in and freeze whatever is on the road, and then that snow accumulation on top. That could lead to very dangerous conditions. If you are headed out driving, make sure your car is completely clean before you do hit the roads, because we are very much seeing a lot of cars that are not completely clean and that heavier snow flying off those cars and hitting other cars that are on the road. So just make sure you are being safe for yourself as well as the other drivers on the road. And if you are planning on hitting the roads, make sure you're taking it slow and taking it very safe as well, because once again, those roads can become very slick as we head through the day tomorrow. Once again, we are now hopping on 81 South right here, and that's where we're going to continue to ride as we do head into a little bit later on this afternoon. But yes, that is my main concern, especially as we head through the overnight tonight and those cooler temperatures very much set in, freezing any of that precipitation as we head into later on tonight. Casey, back to you.
Our resident New Englander, Laurel Blanchard, a little taste of home as she checks the roads there in South Washington County. Laurel, thank you very much. Keep it slow, keep it safe yourself as you're out and about today. Now we have a couple of photos sent in from members of our viewing area. Here we've got a look from Bristol, Tennessee, showing road conditions earlier this afternoon. As you can see, very treacherous. How about another view? This from Surgoinsville in Hawkins County, completely covered. The snow on the road there in Hawkins County. And another picture from Hawkins County. The road conditions there looks treacherous. Can be even more treacherous as the night goes on and the weather cools down and the ice sets in. How about one more? This one submitted from Jonesboro again, covering the road, the snow there on the back roads in our area. If you'd like to submit a photo showing any winter weather conditions in your area, email a photo to PIX, that's PIX, at WJHL.com. Number of schools and businesses have already announced schedule changes for tomorrow, including East Tennessee State University. The university will be closed tomorrow, as will Carter County, Johnson City, Kingsport, and Washington County, Tennessee schools. And Virginia schools will be closed tomorrow as well, including Buchanan County, Elizabeth and City schools, Hawkins County, Greene County, and Wise County schools, all closed tomorrow. To find a complete list of closures and delays, which is updated by the minute, visit our site, WJHL.com, and go to the Weather tab.
Now, Storm Team 11 Chief Meteorologist Mark Reynolds.
All right, so once again, I want to give you a weather report because the winter storm warnings, they are staying in effect through tomorrow morning. I do want to give you some insight, though. If you've got snow on the ground, take a ruler and take a flat surface and measure that snow, then wipe it clean, and that way you can continue to see how much additional snow you have. So a ruler, a flat location there, wipe off the snow after you measure it, and take measurements in several areas. That way we get a better idea of just how much snow you've had. And again, those winter storm warnings, they're going to stay in effect now. Let me show you our radar, because you look at this, you're seeing some of the green. Talked about this late last week, even into the weekend, how we could see that mix there. We've certainly seen that down through the Smokies, southeast Tennessee, coming right on up into East Tennessee as well. But you notice here some of the dark blue. I want to point this radar out because we're seeing very dark blue south of Christiansburg, also near Abingdon, back towards Kingsport and Rogersville. Where you see the dark blue is where the heavier snow is falling now. We still have the mix going on from Newport on up into southern Washington County, parts of Unicoi County, and that extends into western North Carolina. But we still have more moisture coming our way. This is the other big story. Look at the temperatures here, 24 in Harlan, 18 in Pikeville. That cold Arctic air is spilling south and eastward. So yes, we're still in the low 30s, even some mid 30s over East Tennessee. That's why you're not seeing the snow sticking to the roads. However, tonight with the colder air officially coming in, we'll definitely see that stick to the roads. And look, we still have a lot of snow to go, so we're not done yet. That red line is the freezing line. It's going to hover over so until about 10 o'clock. Then we'll see these bands of snow coming up from the southwest. And look, we're still finding very heavy snow back towards Knoxville, back north of Chattanooga. This is all going to make its way into our region for the evening tonight. And that's why when you look at our Viper radar, you're seeing that colorization there from Rogersville southward to the state line of North Carolina. That's where we're still seeing the mix, and you're going to find freezing rain. But we do believe that will come to an end later tonight as the cold air wins out and everybody will see the chance of snow. But look at that freezing rain all the way down through the Smokies now, and that mix continues all the way north and eastward. And look at our forecast. We're seeing that swath of the blue there coming our way after 10 o'clock, and a very good likelihood we'll see some of the darker blue southwest Virginia into East Tennessee from midnight through about 4 to 5 in the morning. That'll be our best chance of accumulating snow. And again, when we say accumulating snow, I think everybody has at least a chance of 1 to 3. There could be some spots, though, around the Tri-Cities into areas of southwest Virginia with as much as additional 3 to 6 inches. Not everybody, but at least 3 inches, not out of the question for those in the pink shade. The southern counties, though, lesser amounts of snow. And we do want to talk about your forecast. Overnight low at 18. Snow showers continue. Tomorrow's high at 21. Snow tapers down 0 tomorrow night, Casey. And look at this, drying out, staying cold Wednesday, more snow Friday, and Arctic cold one more time this weekend. High near 20 on Saturday, overnight low. Yeah, the goose egg. But we're warming up after that. That's good news.
You know, Mark, what makes this interesting, typically we might get a snow like this and it'll warm up a day or two later, but whatever sticks in the next 24 hours is going to be here for at least a couple of days.
That's right.
Because of those temperatures.
So if you watch those back roads again, you're going to get some additional snow overnight. And again, tomorrow's high only at 21, so we stay below freezing. Everybody, and those back roads could be very, very treacherous, especially the farther north you go.
And the single digits, the zeros, that's got all of our attention.
It does.
Dangerous cold also. Mark, thank you very much, and thank your team. We all knew it was coming.
And leave that spigot on tomorrow night.
Smart. A great tip there. As we take a live look outside, and Mark, you talk about that kind of line that we're on. This is Bristol, Virginia, exit 7, Interstate 81. Completely different than maybe what we're seeing even in Johnson City.
A little bit mix of Johnson City, that's right.
That is all the time we have. Thanks for joining us for this update. We will be back at our regularly scheduled time tonight at 11 o'clock on both the ABC side and the CBS side for all the very latest. Until then, if you have to head out, keep it slow, keep it safe. And if you don't, stay in and stay warm. Have a good afternoon.